A 52-year-old man once said something to me that I still think about. He didn't smoke. He wasn't overweight. He walked every morning around his neighborhood. A beer now and then on the weekend, nothing extreme. In his mind, he was doing everything right. Then one day his doctor looked at an imaging scan and said, almost casually, "Your arteries look older than you are." No heart attack, no stroke, no dramatic warning signs, just that sentence. And what confused him most wasn't fear. It was disbelief. "If I've been living like this," he asked, "what exactly is going wrong inside my body?" The question matters more than most people realize, because arteries don't fail the way we imagine. They don't suddenly clog like a dirty pipe. They don't shut down overnight. And despite what we've been told for decades, it's not just a cholesterol story. Arteries are living tissue. They respond to stress, to inflammation, to blood sugar spikes. Two meals that your body used to handle well, but quietly struggles with now. Every time you eat, your blood vessels make a decision: relax or tighten, repair or inflame, recover or take a little more damage. And those decisions stack up over years. That's why someone can look healthy on the outside and still have arteries that are tired on the inside. They don't feel pain. They just feel heavier walking upstairs. Breathing feels a little shallower. So there's that familiar fatigue that people blame on age. But age isn't the cause. It's just the backdrop. The real driver is low-grade inflammation that never quite goes away. Not strong enough to hurt, but strong enough to stiffen the inner lining of your blood vessels. When that lining loses flexibility, blood flow becomes less smooth. Pressure rises. The heart works harder. Plaque finds places to settle. What's frustrating is that this process doesn't reverse with a single pill. And it doesn't fix itself just because you cut fat or eat less. It improves when the body consistently receives a different signal. And that's where food matters, not as a miracle cure. But as information, a well-designed meal doesn't scrub your arteries clean. That's not how biology works. But it does three important things at the same time. First, it calms the inflammatory response that many modern meals quietly trigger. Second, it supports nitric oxide production, allowing blood vessels to relax naturally. Third, it stabilizes blood sugar long enough to prevent the cycle of tightening and stress that wears vessels down. Over time, most meals fail at two of these three. The meal we're talking about isn't complicated. It's not extreme. Doesn't rely on eliminating entire food groups. It works because of combination. Soluble fiber slows glucose absorption. Healthy fats soften inflammation. Plant compounds support repair at the cellular level. When these elements show up together, the body reacts differently, not with a burst of energy, but with calm. Heart rate stays steady after eating. Blood pressure doesn't spike. Most importantly, blood vessels aren't pushed into constant defense mode. Many people eat what looks healthy on paper, but still creates stress inside their arteries. Low-fat meals, loaded with refined carbs. High-protein plates with almost no fiber. Individually, they seem fine. Physiologically, they're demanding. After 40, the body stops forgiving these small stresses. What you could bounce back from at 25 leaves a mark at 50, not because you're weaker, but because repair systems move slower. That's why two people can eat the same meal and feel completely different afterward. A younger body resets quickly. A middle-aged body remembers. And if the signal doesn't change, adaptation continues in the wrong direction. Here's what most people don't hear often enough. Arteries don't need perfection. They need consistency. One supportive meal, repeated often enough, changes the trajectory of cardiovascular health. Not in days, in months. Not with dramatic sensations, but with subtle ones, lighter breathing, steadier energy, less pressure after exertion. People often ask, do I have to eat this way forever? The honest answer is no one eats perfectly forever. But if you give your body a long enough window of safety, blood vessels begin to behave differently. And when that happens, better choices feel less forced. You don't need to fear every meal. You don't need to obsess over every lab number. You need to understand your body's logic. Arteries aren't destroyed by one bad meal. They're protected by many good enough ones. If you're over 45 and your body doesn't feel as smooth as it once did, that's not failure. It's feedback. A reminder that your cardiovascular system needs support now, not punishment. And the good news is that support still works. Quietly, gradually, reliably. When you send the right signal day after day, the body responds in ways you don't notice at first. Less tightness, easier breathing, longer walks without effort. No miracle. It's just biology doing what it's designed to do when conditions improve. If there's one thing worth remembering, it's this. Your arteries aren't betraying you. They're reflecting years of input. And that means the direction can still change, starting with meals that calm, nourish, and give your body room to repair.